Of their group, Nulla was the best marksman, followed by Simon close behind. Simon had a talent for patience, and he always fired cleanly. Luke, on the other hand, usually became excited and frightened the enemy more than doing them any harm. Lucy now joined Simon, and together their bullets hit the squad just as they took their first steps towards Luke and Heidi's position. Simon made sure he hit the leader first, then raked the others, hitting all four. Simon continued to fire until his magazine was empty, then brought himself back from where he'd sent his mind. All was quiet, except for the squealing of one of the wounded. Simon automatically reloaded with a fresh magazine. Lucy looked at Simon and nodded. Her face was white, and beads of sweat dripped down her forehead. They could now hear Heidi screaming for Phil and Nulla to help her get Arthur into the car. Simon called out loudly, "All clear, cease firing," just as Nulla had done the day they took the scavengers out at the shopping mall car park. He stood up and looked at the work they'd done. He felt no emotion, rather, he felt revulsion and disgust. Taking each step as though he was walking on eggshells, he walked to the pile of dead and dying. A particularly young terrorist looked up and called to Lucy, sobbing, "Mum, help me. I can't feel my legs," he cried. "I can't feel my feet. Something's wrong. Please, Mum, help me." He sobbed uncontrollably. His condition was partially caused by alcohol, the dope, and the shocking impact of the bullets. Lucy looked briefly at Simon, then walked over to the young man lying on the ground. She stopped and stared at the bodies for a long moment. Leaning over the youth, she forced the young terrorist to look at her. "Why don't you just die? I tried to kill you, but you're still alive. That's not good, is it?" She nonchalantly checked her AK and cocked it like she had done a dozen times in training. Simon had never seen Lucy so calm and focused. He stood mesmerized as she aimed and fired. I don't know if we're allowed to do that, Lucy, to kill the wounded," Simon mumbled in shocked bewilderment. "They killed my husband, so I killed them," replied Lucy. Her face remained serene, but now exhibited what appeared to be pleasure. With a look at the other bodies to make sure they were dead, she left the scene of violence. Simon kicked the weapons out of reach of the newly dead hands, just as he was taught, then called to Luke. "Luke, come on, help me collect the weapons and ammo." Luke looked up when he heard his friend and ran forward. He didn't stop to check on Artie. Heidi was already dragging him toward Phil's four-wheel drive. Together the two boys collected as much as they could carry in their arms and ran back to the vehicles. Nulla was only now running towards them with Charlene, her pistol in her good hand pointed to the ground. Nulla looked at his young warriors and nodded. "Good work, everyone. Good work. Righto, Simon. Get back to the motel entrance and watch for enemy reinforcements.